Friends, it's Adventure Day. We are headed to Bainbridge Island yet again. I was invited to the Bloedel Reserve, one of the most iconic gardens in the Northwest, and they are having an event called Stewards and Storytellers. And you guys, what an honor to be invited. This is one of my favorite gardens here in the Northwest, and in just a minute, you're going to see why. Man, this is one of my absolute favorite trees. Yeah, I actually just planted 2 in my back garden. I love the smell of it. Oh, and there's honestly, like, to see it reflected in the moss below, that is beautiful. Gorgeous branching habit. Oh, man. This is just iconic Pacific Northwest landscape. We've got incredible coverage, beautiful understory. And this is what it is like walking through a garden with a whole bunch of plant nerds. Camille, say hello. I know. Oh my gosh. You guys, the moss game is dialed. Oh, beautiful. This is just incredible. This almost feels stumpery-ish. Just beautiful. Oh my gosh. The sculpture, all the huckleberries growing through. You guys, this is just peak Northwest. Iconic. Moss. Oh man. I don't know if you can see it, but right there, there's a beautiful amelanchier that is just going to come into bloom. Okay, this is one of the most beautiful surprises. I think the last time I was here, I walked through the other end of this beautiful reflecting pond. But what's so great is it's literally just this little tiny hit of formality right in the middle of a beautiful natural setting. Oh my gosh, what a treat. What a treat to be here after hours. Okay, and then showing the way out. You guys, this is just such an incredible surprise. Now, this is an incredible time to be at the Bloedel Reserve because they've got 2 really incredible showstoppers right now. First and foremost, all the camellias are in bloom. Well, the japonicas, that is. And then also, they have the rhododendron garden, which we're going to see a little bit later today. And that is apparently absolutely on fire right now. I wish I could zoom in more. That little rosette is perfection.
What made you move there?
And the height off of that one is absolutely incredible. Now, one of the really cool things about coming to a place like this is you can come multiple times a year because, for example, some of these beautiful lyrics are just now pushing out new growth. And so you really get to appreciate the sculpture of everything. Okay, and here is, I think, one of the most spectacular views. They have this beautiful old manor house right here at the end. And I love that it just kind of slowly but surely appears as you're coming around these corners. Oh yeah, here's like the absolute stunner of a shot here. All right, I'm going to jump off the beaten path for a second here. What I think Bloedel also does a really good job of is creating a few quiet moments off the trail where even if you're here on a really busy day, you can just have a bit of a moment to step off and pretend you're not amongst hundreds of your new best friends and take in the scenery. And I also love that they have this bench facing towards the water. It isn't the house, it isn't anything else, it's just the water. And over here you can see another bench over there, and there's even another bench right behind that tree. They break down their landscape into a lot of different sections, and so this feels much more old European, French, definitely reflecting the style of the house, but they leave a lot of areas that are more naturalistic, more wild, and each embraces kind of a different energy of the garden. Oh my gosh, look at the trunk on that thing. I do have to say, one of the things I love the most is seeing the winter hazel bloom. It's just kind of that little puff of yellow over there. And it's something that you don't notice, I think, year round, but this time of year, it is everywhere and it is so phenomenal. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, well, I can't imagine what kind of reception awaits us in there, but just to the right, another incredible, incredible tree. This is where I wish I had plant tags or some sort of map so I could tell you exactly what each one of these are. Man. This is actually secretly one of my favorite aspects of the Bloedel, because I want to see what they've collected. Ask Cisco, perfection. Oh my goodness. The biology of butterflies. Lovely. So coming out the back of that incredible, incredible home, there are these two standardized trees here. And I was talking to a couple of the wonderful people who work at the Bloedel Reserve. And this is actually what's called a Camperdown elm tree. She thinks that they were planted probably around the 30s. But my goodness, you never see an elm in the Seattle area. And what's really cool is they don't do any sort of pruning or sculpting to keep them this way. They just naturally grow this way. And then here's something else really cool. See that big knobbly bit right there? That is where they have grafted it onto the root stock of another elm. So if you remember back to my display garden where I was using those standardized cherries and standardized lilacs, they've been doing this for ages and ages. I mean, this is as old as can be and just sensational form. But what I think makes these elms so special is how just twisted and gnarly and amazing they are as you go. And then, of course, my goodness, I do have to say their tree game is second to none. And then looking back at the house, you guys, I feel like we just got transported. I am still knee deep in my maximalist French era, but just a beautiful residence. Before I go back inside, I wanted to show this Mahonia. That thing is incredible. I do wonder what variety this is. Gosh, I wonder if I could petition them to tag as many of these plants as possible, because they do have some really special specimens here. I've never come this time of year and I am just itching. I have purposefully stayed away from this vista. So starting at the entrance to the rhododendron garden, we were just listening to a little talk, and the whole kind of concept of this garden in particular is that it should look like it has always been here. And there's a big subtlety to what all of the caretakers and stewards do here. The other thing that's super fun is we were talking about this as a beautiful example of Northwest coastal landscaping. And so you're going to get just an insanely wide variety of species and different varieties of things. And the other great thing is that there's so much to take in the foreground, for example, the skimmia here, but then you just take one step back and my goodness, that exceptional rhododendron there. So it's going to be really fun to kind of come through and see what they've got going on. I mean, this fern is incredible. Wow. Look at this down tree. That is absolutely incredible. Oh my goodness. And it's that time of year where we also have epimediums coming up, which I just think adds such whimsy to any lower story. We are coming up on what I think is one of the most stunning little parts of this trail. I mean, it's all good. All of it is good. But I think something that feels very special, that who knows how long it will be because we have so much pressure here from birch borer. But I'm going to turn you around because this grove of birches is magnificent. And this is another one of those areas where they've kept things incredibly simple, super refined. We have incredible groves of these beautiful birch trees. And by keeping everything low, and by the way, this salal on either side is 3-4 feet tall in many places, but keeping it purposefully low allows this beautiful birch grove to really shine. And then more void with the lawn, which is so great. Oh, this is funny. I think they've brought it down. A lot of people don't know this, but salal can get massive. This winter hazel, it is like a basic shrub or tree all year long. And then just right now it's having its moment. And now we tuck back into this beautifully forested region. Incredible cedars, incredible. We've got low growing mahonia. We just passed a whole grove of sarcococa, and look at these ferns growing up this trunk. Okay, we're going to come around, and I cannot wait to show this to you. And here's another one of these bench moments that I was talking about. Like just a second to pull off the trail, take in what you're seeing, because there's so much detail in our natural forests. There's just so much detail. This trunk has to be 10 feet wide. Just absolutely incredible. Look at this. And just to give you a frame of reference for how big this is, that's my hand. I mean, my goodness. Honestly, like touching a tree that's this old, there's not much like it in the world. Oh my gosh. Okay, this is so happy. Look at these beautiful little narcissus. Oh, look at the little lilies. Oh my gosh. You guys, it does not get better. Okay, do you see up to the left there? That is literally where we just came down. So now we're at the bottom of that trail and we're gonna snake our way back up. Oh, what's so fun is you have all of these little cowslips, all these primula here. I'm telling you, if I had property, I would just come here and take notes, because as much caretaking as is involved with a place like Bloedel, it is like leave no trace gardening. Do you know what I mean? Leave no trace. You want all of this to feel as if it naturally occurred. And for me, I love the fact that we are leaving so many of these fallen logs in place, because you can just see the amount of life that springs forward from them. I have to give a moment for this incredible podophyllum. And do you see how it emerges just glossy and fresh? This is so special. Oh man, you guys. What a day. Coming around the bend here. Look at this. Just incredible red rhodie. What I think is so special though is look at these long leaves. That to me is so gorgeous. That is the most beautiful cream colored rhodie. Really interesting trunk shape, the whole nine. Beautiful. Oh, look at all the hellebore. Oh my gosh, those are massive clumps. Holy cow. Oh man, and the winter hazel back there. Just that gorgeous cloud of yellow. Absolutely vibrant. Now, I'm not typically a red person, but look how dainty and adorable these little blooms are. Isn't that magnificent? Oh my goodness. And I love that they're just, you get these wonky stems and just a tiny little puff at the end of each one. And then look at this moment of purple fading into a few little dots of yellow. As per usual, I'm a bit of a straggler and I've lost the group, but sorry, not sorry, because I am having the most magnificent time just looking at everything around. It's so good. And a beautiful pond through there. Oh my goodness. Look at the reflection. That is just incredible. Okay, so we've just popped out into a little clearing here, and this is where there's a ton of magnolias with incredible blooms, and I feel like it's super appropriate because this is where the Japanese house is. Here we are. So this is the Japanese tea house, and it very much reminds me of something that Frank Lloyd Wright might do, kind of like if he did a Japanese collaboration. You guys, we're just coming up out of this beautiful lower walk. If you have not come to the Bloedel Reserve, absolutely come. It is so delightful. I also love that it's so huge and vast that there are those moments and pockets of time when even if it's a busy day, you still have a bit of peace to yourself. Friends, what an amazing day. Massive thank you to the Bloedel Reserve, one of the most iconic gardens of the Northwest, whose plant category spans 3,000 species. I mean, really one of the most beautiful gardens here in the Northwest. If you have not visited, I will actually link all of their information below. It's really nice actually when you're here on a weekend to come and make an appointment to come and see the gardens, tour around. You can do something self-led, and there's literally a little something for everyone here. Okay, friends, I'm gonna head back into town and go have dinner with my brother. But in the meantime, as always, get out there and say hello to your garden for me. Thanks for coming along.